Welcome to Cricket World TV Hotspot, the final hotspot of the IPL. And this one is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be doing it IPL in a nutshell with me, John Pennington, and joining me for the final time of this IPL, at least, is Chetan Narula out in India. Hello, Chetan.
Hello, John.
So what we're going to do, we're going to be talking about the tournament overall. We're going to be looking back at the final and then finally looking ahead, sort of trying to identify some young players you should really be looking out for that have made a great impression in this tournament. Chetan, first of all, just give us your sort of synopsis, your overview, if you like, of the final. It was a wonderful game. Kolkata Knight Riders are the champions for the second time.
Yes, second-time champions Kolkata Knight Riders. I think it was a quintessential IPL final because when you have a tournament like this where there's so much intrigue and drama in every match, sort of just balances and all. So you want a final where both teams are able to compete, whether it's a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game, and getting 199. You don't want one team to be bowled out for 120 and the other team to just knock those runs off easily in 15, 16 overs. Nobody wants to see that match. You want drama, you want excitement, and I think both the teams, I think the best teams in this particular tournament this year, I think they were able to provide that 199, 200 on 200 the target, and Kolkata Knight Riders providing a decent chase, good chase, and in the end, even what happens in the tight chases, it was always going to be a tight chase, and in the end, it came down to 10 of 9 deliveries and Piyush Chawla with those 2 hits. So yeah, interesting game, exciting final, quintessential IPL final, as I put it.
Absolutely, and star performers really. Wriddhiman Sahar with that brilliant century, and then Manish Pandey 94 in 50 balls.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not every day when you see a century like that. 115 or something odd. He scored 50 odd deliveries. So in an IPL match or in any T20 game, you score 115 runs or 50 balls. More often than not, you end up on the winning side. But then such has been the momentum, such has been the confidence boost that Kolkata have received, that despite the fact they had only one half-century maker. I mean, Punjab had 2 players who crossed the 50-run mark and batted consistently for a longer period of time. Kolkata had just 1, but they had a lot of players chipping in because they were all in good form, all very confident, and they never let their run rate come down. So two equally good knocks, but you have just the one winner, and I think Wriddhiman Sahar proved the point. He's not going to be. I mean, he's been India's number 2 Test batsman for a long time. I think he's shown an extra dimension to his game. India obviously will be trying out different players in the run up to the World Cup. I think Robin Uthappa, who was vying for that second wicket-keeper spot, he'll probably have some competition from Wriddhiman Sahar now for the limited overs. Manish Pandey, yes, exciting talent. 2009, the first centurion, first IPL Indian centurion. So there's been a small gap in his consistency. Obviously, he was out injured as well, but he's had a good couple of seasons, and he has a lot of talent, obviously. So I'm hoping he can make that step up this time around.
That's right, and 9 wins in a row then for Kolkata means they are champions for the second time after they won back in 2012. Now, Chetan, just give us maybe a few key points that you take from the tournament. It was an interesting one, quite a long one, of course, started in the UAE back in April, back to India, sort of around the grounds, around different parts of the country. A few sort of trends, a few important points that you could pick out for us?
Well, I mean, I think this time around, I think one of the key factors, if you look at the way teams have faced it. I mean, obviously it was a completely different IPL because you're playing it in 2 parts, one in UAE, one in India. Obviously the pitches are nearly similar, but we saw in UAE they had a little more bounce, a little more carry than what they had in India. Slow. In India it was a lot more slower. I think there are three definitive runs of matches. Runs as in winning roles. Kings 11 Punjab winning 5 on the bounce. Chennai Super Kings losing the first match, and before they lost, those 3-4 games in between, or they had a run of 4-5 games, and then you have Kolkata Knight Riders who won 9 games. If you look at these winning runs, you're looking at teams which did not change a lot in their playing 11. Maybe one player here, one player there. Consistency was the key, and that's very important in any T20 game. You have the same 11, you have a formula, you stick with it, and perhaps 1 or 2 results might go against you, but eventually, if you think this is the right formula, because you have picked the teams yourself in the auctions. So I think this is a pointer. And in contrast, you have two teams. You have Royal Challengers Bangalore and Delhi Daredevils. Obviously, they had different seasons. Royal Challengers Bangalore were in contention, but that's primarily because their batting has such heavy firepower. But they were such an unbalanced side, filled up with batsmen who were single-handedly keeping them in the tournament for so long. In Delhi, they neither had the batsmen, neither had the bowlers. Again, two very unbalanced sides. And Bangalore were the first one to be out of contention out of all the 7 teams. Delhi were never in contention. So you look at these teams, a balanced squad and unbalanced sides, and you get to see where success has come from.
Absolutely, and the thing for me, and we talked about this at length in our podcast on Sunday, which will be available soon on Cricket World if you want a longer discussion, really detailing the final of the show about how this has been perhaps one of the most competitive IPLs, because you've only had Delhi, who were out of it quite early on. We had so many teams still in contention going into playoff week, which was absolutely brilliant for the tournament. And final point, really, Chetan, the IPL, of course, serves to give young talent a chance, give them experience of playing a high level of cricket. Pick out some talents that we should be looking out for in the future that have really impressed you in this year's IPL.
I think from a spin perspective, I think there've been quite a few young spinners who've looked the part, at least in T20 format. I mean, obviously they can just gain some experience in the longer format in domestic cricket and maybe make the step up. But they need a lot of nurturing. You have Akshar Patel, you have Yuzvendra Chahal, you have Karan Sharma from Sunrisers Hyderabad. I think these spinners, they need proper guidance, proper nurturing. Maybe they should talk to some ex-India players, ex-India spinners, one of the 4 of the greatest spinners, obviously. But I think there's been one particular standout talent, and that's Manan Vora. He's a batsman, definitely. But there were a lot of eyebrows raised when he was the only one who was retained by. He was the only one of 2 players retained by Kings 11 Punjab. And even then, he did not play the first half of the IPL, and nobody knows the reason. He just came home, and suddenly you have Manan Vora opening, and he just took off from there. And some of his, drives and playing them in the air off the back foot against. I mean, Mohammad Shami. I was at the Delhi game, Kings 11 Punjab versus Delhi. He literally took Mohammad Shami apart. Now, Mohammad Shami has not been in a good form of late. He's played too much cricket. He's just been so overburdened. But the fact of the matter is that Mohammad Shami is India's bowling spearhead in all formats of the game. And this was a youngster, 20-year-old guy, who was taking him apart. And Mohammad Shami, yes, he was tired. Yes, he's been off colour. He had no replies. In that particular moment, you do not remember that you are tired. You do not remember that you're off colour. You want to respond to a 20-year-old who's hitting you out of the park. And Mohammad Shami could not do that. So a 20-year-old made India's spearhead bowler look quite foolish. And I think it was, and obviously he did that against the other bowlers as well. He's played some really quality bowlers across all teams. So he's done well, especially in the final as well. Sunil Narayan and Muttiah Muralitharan. So he's done well, and I think he could be, another couple of seasons in first-class cricket, and perhaps he could really be a batsman to watch for India.
Good stuff, yes, as you say, performed well in the final. As did Akshar Patel. He would maybe be my standout performer. You picked the batsman, I picked the bowler there, so really good performance.
I mean, yes, there were others as well. I mean, yeah, there were others as well. There were Karun Nair, Sanju Samson. There were quite many young players, but again, you obviously Sanju Samson, Karun Nair, they've already had a head start. Vijay Zol could not make an impact. KL Rahul, they've all done well in domestic season, before this, so done well, but this was the one who caught the eye from the IPL. I thought he was exceptional, and obviously the bowlers as well bodes well for India if they are nurtured well.
Certainly does. Of course, India heading to Bangladesh and then over here to England, and I think that might be the next time that we catch up, Chetan, because that's going to be it from this particular hotspot IPL in a nutshell, and hotspot for a little while with Chetan. So. Safe onward journey, Chetan, and thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, John. Pleasure as always.
As I say, that was a bit of an IPL in a nutshell. If you do want a bit more of an in-depth discussion between myself and Chetan, do check out cricketworld.com, where we did, I think, 18, 90-minute podcast, which will be loaded up shortly. So from me and Chetan, for this hotspot, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.